I've got some cool gadgets to show you. These are some of my miniature smoke machines that I have collected over the years. And I just wanted to give you a quick tour of the different ones that I have and some of the pros and cons with them. I do have a little bit of experience with some DIY type stuff. I've got my vape box here with all sorts of crazy contraptions that I've worked on over the years. Basically taking vape hardware and then turning it into a miniature fog machine. That's a whole nother conversation. So for this video, I just wanted to share some of the off-the-shelf options that are available out there. Starting with these two. This is the Smoke Screen from Magic Smith, and then this is the Smoke Cube. Of these two, I prefer this one just because it has a fan in it. Now, all of these units, basically the idea is there is a heating element that heats up, and the heating element is wrapped around some sort of wick. And on that wick, you put some smoke fluid, basically like a glycerin mix. And then when that heating element gets hot, it heats up, it turns into steam, the liquid that's around it, and because there's glycerin in it, it hangs around in the air longer than if it was just water vapor. So all of these work on that principle, and three of them include a fan in it, and the fan helps to push the smoke out further. This guy, Smoke Screen, does not. So this is designed basically to be hidden in a performer's hand and just give it a little squeeze. And I don't have this one charged up right now, I apologize. But when you do that, a little wisp of smoke comes up and out of your hand. It looks good, but it's not quite as impressive as these other three. And that also, one of the challenges is that it has to be hiding in your hand in order to operate. None of the other ones need to. And for my personal applications, normally I'm building it into some sort of a prop as opposed to hiding it in my hand and using sleight of hand with it. So just, again, for me personally, hasn't been a good fit. The Smoke Cube is great in terms of size. This is the smallest one that I have. I can turn on the power switch right here. And the only bad thing I'll say about it is it's got quite a buzz to it. There's some feedback to let you know that it turned on, so it just did that. And now if I tap the button here, it's gonna buzz again. And that tells me that smoke is gonna be coming out soon. And here comes our smoke, look at that. It's got a good output, it looks pretty great. But again, if you're gonna be close to people, then they're gonna hear some weird pager going off. The other thing that I like about it is that you can sort of push that button, walk away, and it comes out on a delay. So if you want that sort of an effect, maybe something that's sitting on a table that you pick it up, and in the act of doing so, you tap the button, you set it somewhere else, now you can walk away, and it gives the sort of feeling of remote control. So this one's pretty good for that. However, my favorite two are actually remote control. This one is the One Grande, and then this one is the Sunsmoke Pro. One Grande is a little bigger than this guy, right? You see the size difference here. But I like this nozzle that's on the end because I've been able to hook this up to a variety of things. So this could be attached to some tubing that allows me to feed it somewhere. I'll turn this guy on just to show you what's up. This does not have a manual button on it, so you have to use the remote control to activate it. And this also has this sort of timer delay. So I push the button here, and then it turns on for a little bit, and then it turns off on its own. And you can press and hold this longer if you want there to be more smoke coming out. And then whenever you turn it off, it waits a few seconds, and then it turns it off for you, right? So this is great, and this has a really good output if the size is okay for whatever application you have. But I'll tell you that my go-to right now, that my personal favorite is this Sunsmoke Pro. It is so small and compact that if you want to hide it somewhere, it's super easy to do that. There is also a manual button on the back, as well as a remote control. So really it does the best of everything, The only thing it doesn't do is have a timer delay function, which again, for me, I don't really care about, but it basically, you push the button, smoke comes out, you release the button, it stops. So this little guy, the smoke comes out of a little slot here, and that's the only thing that I'll say that's a negative for it, is that I wish that it was a little bit better to sort of direct or control where the smoke is. But I can also do it with the remote here. So if I push that button, then I can have it smoking from whatever. And I'll tell you, this is usually how I use it. This will be in my pocket or somewhere on stage to be able to activate it. And again, just like these guys, I can flip this open and show you that there's a little heating element in there, as well as a little wick. And I put a few drops of this fluid on it, make sure it's good and charged, and then I'm ready to be smoking with whatever I need to do. Basically, those are my favorite mini smoke machines right now. I did want to give just a little shout out to, from the past, there was a device called Vapr, which was one of the first little mini fog machines that was not $2,000. And this worked off of the e-cigarette or the vape technology. Basically, it was a clever idea. It was a little pump that was remote controlled. So you get a remote for it and an air pump, and then a piece of this flexible tubing, and then there was an adapter that would allow you to hook up essentially an e-cigarette. And specifically, that e-cigarette was a type where when you blew into it, it would automatically turn on. Now, there's a lot of e-cigarettes I've experimented with where you have to be sucking, you have to be inhaling as opposed to exhaling or blowing it out in order to activate the heating element inside the e-cigarette. This was a great system until they stopped making available the e-cigarettes that go with it. So I've got a whole box full here of some pumps that hook up with a remote control. And so I guess if I ever want to have an aquarium that I can just walk around with and turn on the bubbler whenever I want, I've got a kit for that. But unfortunately, all this hardware is not really useful now that the e-cigarettes that go with it are no longer available. Anyway, hope that was interesting. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.